right, good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Beyond the Norms. I'm happy to have most of you guys here. We have today with us two very special guests. I think our last two episodes we got a lot of backlash from our listeners that we shouldn't be speaking on a couple of these topics without having a female perspective, which is something that I subscribe to. I totally agree, and I feel like it's only um it's okay if when we are speaking about some of these conversations we get to hear from the female perspective because some of these topics are very sensitive topics. So I have two of my friends here today. Coincidentally both of them are named Amaka, but for the purpose of this session we would be referring to one of them as Evelyn. So I would first start by introducing Evelyn. She's a friend of mine from Unizik. We've been friends from 100 level up till now, and she's somebody that I've always considered to be a very intelligent young lady. And I'm really, really glad and looking forward to the ideas and perspective that she would bring to us on this session. So, Amaka, it's nice to have you here. Sorry, Evelyn, it's nice to have you here. I have here with me my co-host Victor and Ikenna. So, Victor, Evelyn, Ikenna, Evelyn.
All right, it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you very much, Zion, Victor, and hopefully Ikena for having me today.
Why do you
I
say
will be
hopefully
honored.
for Ikenna?
He's not responded yet.
All right, Ike.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. That was an issue, actually.
Okay.
Let's just proceed. Let's just proceed.
Yeah, okay. So we also have here with us our second special guest today is she's the best friend of one of my childhood friends, somebody that I go way back with right from when I was 11, 12, one of my closest friends. So she's his best friend, and when he introduced me to her, I had a couple of conversations with her on our previous episodes, and I was really excited to see the standpoint she was coming from because she was able to make me see things from a different perspective that we did not even touch on when we were having the conversations on rape, the conversations on feminism. So I'm speaking about Amaka. Amaka, it's nice to have you here on the show. Amaka, meet Evelyn, meet Victor, meet Ikenna. It's nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Zion. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Evelyn. It's so very nice to be here. I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity to be on an episode of Beyond the Norms. And I really hope the nonsense I have to spout, makes sense to like people out there.
We hope so too. So let's get into it. I think we are discussing on a topic that is kind of personal to me because this is something that I feel like I experienced growing up, and I feel like almost every Nigerian child would have experienced it one way or the other. Growing up in Nigeria, a lot of us were never really allowed to talk about sex, but somehow we were still expected to, figure it out and not make mistakes. Things like don't come back home if you go carry belly outside, if you go give woman belly outside. All of these threats that were being given growing up, and there was no proper sex education, and no proper teaching that was being passed on to us. I feel like society, and especially here in Nigeria, I don't know if it's a religion thing or it's just maybe a cultural thing, we tend to shy away from some of these conversations. So I feel like today we're asking what happens when a society stays silent about something that is important as sex education. So I would like to start by throwing a question to the house. Like growing up, did you guys grow up in a home where sex was, openly discussed? Like could you sit your mom or your dad down and be like, okay, this is what is going on, maybe my boyfriend, my girlfriend, just on sex topics? I don't know. I just want to get a feel of how your childhood was.
Okay. Let me start by saying that that topic is a topic I don't know. We almost frown upon, like the parents usually frown upon it, like not something that they want to actually, discuss with their children and everything. So, growing up, we don't even bring up anything like that in the house, and basically is because I think it's just a psychological reasons. We are conservative in nature, and nobody wants to talk about stuff like that. But the issue is that shying away from topics like that is even not okay for everybody because you end up doing stuff that you're not supposed to do if you are educated about it. So for me, and I think many other people around, let me just say for me, because you guys will still say how it was for you people. So I think for me it wasn't like it's something we not discussed by saying that.
Okay, so first things first, I did not think I had like a very conservative mom because like I was raised by a single mom.
Oh, wow.
I never got to hear the whole if you hug a boy as a child, you get pregnant, all that yada 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 lies that people tell their kids just to keep them away. And that's not what Ikina was saying as to how it was just something that was like a taboo to mention. But I
Yeah.
genuinely think that it's the fact that they were not taught, and that's the reason why we were not taught. I feel like it has just been like a thing, like it's just been passing down from generation to generation.
Mm.
As I said, I wasn't raised in a house where they tell me, oh, if I hug the boy, I get pregnant and all that. It still doesn't mean that I could walk up to my mom and tell her that, oh, this is how this is going. But she has this age appropriate approach to training her children. When I was in SS2, SS3, she probably would have killed me if I walked up to her and said I had a boyfriend
Mm.
and all that, yada yada. She wouldn't have, but yeah. But whenever I had a crush, it was easy to tell her
So wait, you,
because
you used
she
to tell
didn't.
your mom when you have a crush?
Yeah, she knew about the person I had.
Ha.
Okay, so I'm going to confess now, right? I've had just like one boyfriend, and he was like in SS3, and like I told her he was my crush instead of like my actual boyfriend.
But you guys
But
were dating.
and I spoke to her about it. Well, yeah, something like that, childhood
So you
love,
liked
all that. That
one.
was back in school. I'm not going to deny it. So I thought her was my crush, and like I would ask her like questions, like, and she would be like, "Cause I'm Igbo, yeah." So I don't know if I know. Okay, you can on the call. She would tell me, "Marife,
Everybody here is Igbo, by
Marife."
the way.
Okay, okay. She would tell me, "Marife, Marife." When we were younger, she wouldn't
But
say,
what
"Oh,
does that
huggy
mean for
boy."
our
She'd
listeners
tell
that
you,
don't understand Igbo? May I understand it, but just explain it for those
okay.
that don't understand.
Marife means like I don't know how do I put it now, like have sense.
Oh.
Like Jekuriekwe. Like so if
Mm.
I'm telling you Jekuriekwe, that's what Marife means.
In a nutshell, no
So
go get belle.
um
That's what it means.
yeah, basically. So like she wouldn't tell us don't hug a boy get pregnant. She'd tell you if you open your legs, anything you see, take it.
Mm.
That was how she put it.
That's the threats we are talking
And
about.
yeah, you get like she just say if you open so from there you would know that it wasn't just like subtle touching that was getting you into the trouble. It have to be more than that. So I
Mm.
genuinely feel like it's because of the fact that they were not trained and those people that trained them were also not trained. It just seemed to be um unknown, especially to girls. Because if you notice here, if a guy were to like bring a babe home and everything, there's a very high probability that they'd probably just laugh it up as, oh, he brought his babe. Or even children of now, like children during that time, you'd see like younger boys having like liking female classmates, and then they would say, oh, he likes that girl, that's his girlfriend. But it's never the other way around.
Mm.
You never see like baby girls going home to say, oh, I like that boy. No, you just hear, oh, hey, that's his girlfriend, that's his wife, small children. I think right from time, yeah, I don't know whether I want to say that they've just like felt like women do not need to know some of these things, like,
Yeah.
oh, um, there was no need for educating them.
Yeah. I agree with most of the
And
things that you said. And I think I would like to come back to this. A particular thing you said where you said they don't condemn the girls, but they don't condemn the boys, but they condemn the girls. That's something I want to touch on. But
yes,
let's just let me hear from other people first. Let me hear the other people experiences growing up. Then we'll come back to some of the things that you've touched.
Okay, personally, I have a very similar perspective and background story with Amaka because I also was raised by a single mom,
Oh wow.
and my mom was literally a very strict person actually. She was a teacher, she is still a teacher, and most times she's every single morning we have this sermon that is uncalled for, and she tells us every single disadvantage of, being with a guy, being with a boy, things like that.
So you're saying every morning she sat you guys down and was always reminding you.
No, 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 not like that. Okay, okay. At first, it was like that, especially during my reformative stage, when I was in secondary school and stuff like that. But when I got to university, the topic kind of changed. She became more relaxed and she wanted to get to know about my personal life more. She was even open to me dating somebody if I saw someone I really liked.
Wow.
So it was
At what
like
age was
there was
this?
mm, honestly, I got into school at a very young age. So
When you say school,
I'd
you
say
mean
around,
university, right?
yes, university. I got into school around 15, 16 ish.
Hmm.
So, but
Treasures
I
upon.
grew up, I would always say I had a matured mindset, and my mom always somehow trusted me. So, but we had conversations, right? I always told her what was going on, especially when I got into school, because I noticed that we had this bond. I was able to open up to her because she was very receptive to me and all that I had to say. She was also open to me meeting somebody and, dating someone because she had started seeing that I was gradually leaving her hands and things like that. So
Hmm.
there was a transition, in our relationship. Before it was you couldn't say anything around my mom as pertaining boys.
Yeah.
But when I got into school,
She
the
kind of
narrative changed.
softened. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Victor, yeah. Let me hear your perspective.
Okay, yeah. So my perspective on this is it's not really a
And your
perspective
experience, your own experience
since we are
growing up.
sharing a yeah. My family we basically was like that. Because we are all boys here. There was no girl among us. So that thing didn't come up. Though when it comes to sex education, it was not really they didn't really speak about it. It was just I think when my immediate elder brother hit puberty, I remember that we got a sort of lecture on it to sort of desensitize the whole thing because it was weird and he was seeing some changes in on his body and it has to be explained to us in that way. Secondly, I feel that the reason why there is a lot of they tend to exclude, not bring up those things is cultural. And I feel in the long run, it has done more good than harm. It has done harm, but in long run, generally, it has done more good
I
than
don't.
harm.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
we'll explain later.
I would love
But
to hear
then
that.
that's my perspective on it.
I would love.
That's my perspective on it.
I would love to hear that. You saying it has done more good than harm. If you say so, I would like to hear why you feel that way. But I think the consensus here is that we all kind of grew up in that setting where we had that, that pressure. Let me not call it threats now, but they were always on our case that be careful, don't do this. I remember an incident personally where I think it was it primary 5 or primary 6. So there was this girl that we kind of, started doing, what children do. And for some reason, I don't know why. Like there's this her friend that was my neighbor as a then. And that's my classmate when I was in, I think primary 5 or primary 6, that we were doing what we were doing together. She had never been to my compound before for any reason. But all of a sudden, when we started doing some things, that was when she knew that she would come and be visiting her friend in my house. So, and for that period, I was like living in fear because I don't know why I just felt like she was going to expose what we were doing. She was going to say what we were doing. So I was always living in fear. Like that fear was always over me. And I feel like some of us might have experienced things like that. And like we rightfully said, they were always on our case as to, be careful, use your hair, jekuri ekpe. If you open your leg, this, that will happen. So, and some of you have said that is a cultural thing, and like Chiamaka said that it did not start with them. So it's something that they are passing on from maybe the way they were brought up. They are now passing it on to us. Yeah. And I want to tackle something that Chiamaka said, where she said they condemn the girls more than the boys. So I want to ask, do you guys agree with that narrative that the pressure is usually more on the girls than the boys. And I feel like it is, in my own opinion. And I guess it has to do with the fact that, when they say a woman is a virgin, I don't know, can you say a man is a virgin? I really don't know. But what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So I feel the reason why they always hammering on the girls when it comes to this kind of thing, when it comes to this topic, is it has to do with consequences, and in terms of societal perspectives, because we all know that it's how say that the guy can, when it comes to this kind of thing, a guy can quickly do what he has to do with the girl and leave.
Yeah,
You get no
yeah,
evidence that he did anything.
yeah,
You get, he can even go and be bragging to his friends that this one, na me, I don't chop that kind of thing. But the lady, if she care, if the appropriate care wasn't taken, she gets to, everybody now knows that this is what happened, and then she's left to bear the shame and the stigma and all that. So it's that stigma that makes them zero in more on the female child than the male child. The male child, well, they just call I ain't give that girl belay, this kind of thing, this kind of thing. But the girl's life is practically, and his life is not slowed down in any way. You get, he can still
yeah,
go about his life and all that, but the girl will be forced to literally pause her life for that phase, that period of time, if she decides to carry it to full term, except she goes the route of abortion, which is another topic on its own.
yeah. We'll
But
touch
then
on
I
that.
feel that's why, but I think that's why they always hammer in on the ladies than the guys.
Okay, I want to come in here a little bit because I feel like this idea of sex is fully involved by both parties, and the only reason why the society actively condemns ladies, because it's something that society actively does, is because of the obvious consequence of pregnancy. Aside that, the guys and the girls are both, they both stand a chance of getting STDs. They
Yeah,
both, yeah, they both stand a chance of getting STDs and a lot of other things that come into play when, sex happens, when
like what? What
intercourse
other
happens.
things?
That comes into play.
Mm,
Honestly, for the ladies, especially in our society where patriarchy is the order of the day and men are, adorned for having multiple ladies they've done multiple things with and have intercourse with, have had intercourse with. It's good on their part to an extent when the society kind of rewards them for having conquered lots of ladies, because I've seen guys hail their fellow
what do you
guys
mean by having conquered?
when they
Objection.
Very funny.
Objection. I don't know which society actually adorns men
well,
for
in
having a.
Nigeria, I'm talking about the Nigerian society.
Yeah,
It's something we see.
you don't agree that
It's something we see.
our society does well. I feel like
I don't think it's the Nigerian society. I genuinely think it's just patriarchy.
Who exactly? Who
Yeah,
exactly in the
I
Nigerian
don't
society
think it's
adorns men?
society.
patriarchy.
Who
That's
exactly?
what
The women
It's
are
not the
so.
Nigerian
the
society.
Nigerian society is specifically
What
ruled
is
by
patriarchy?
patriarchy. Like
You guys, wait, you keep saying patriarchy. What is this patriarchy?
patriarchy is literally a male-dominated society, a society
Uh,
where the men are
I
seen
would say that I tend to disagree.
as
I
okay.
tend to disagree. If we're being honest, women have more privileges in society.
I'm not
If
talking about privilege.
I
I'm talking about dominance. Who has
okay, Victor, I
it's,
beg
it's
to
the
continue
same
this.
thing.
and I'm saying this. I'm saying this.
The law is
I'm
literally on the side of the women.
I'm
No,
saying
Victor,
How
I
are
beg to
I'm
men
cut
saying
you
doing
off
this.
it?
there. I
wait,
beg to cut
Victor,
you off
Victor,
there. I'm very
Victor, I'm
sorry.
saying this
But the
because
Victor, calm
patriarchy,
down
the
first.
patriarchy is the problem of men. The patriarchy is hurting both men and women. The only reason why you think women are gaining more from the patriarchy is because the patriarchy has have reduced them to a lesser condition.
I'm not
So they now
assuming.
decide.
This is
Victor,
not an
They
assumption.
now
This is a
decide.
fact.
Okay,
this is
This
a
is a
fact.
fact.
This is a
no,
patriarchal society.
it is not a
I
fact. It is not a
Okay,
fact. Let me
wait. Can I,
explain
wait, can I,
something to
can I,
you.
can I give an example? Can I
Let me
give an
explain
example?
something.
Wait, Victor, calm down. Let them make their point
And
first.
let's take it one after the
Yeah,
other, please.
let them make their point. Then we'll
Okay.
keep in.
so wait,
Okay.
I was trying to finish my sentence, right?
Yeah,
I was
All right.
saying that this is a patriarchal society, and I'm saying this from an objective standpoint because I in-depthly studied the society in school, and one of our case
Yeah, by
studies
the
was
way, she has
Nigeria.
BSc in
So
sociology.
so when I say this, I don't say this out of mere speculation. I say this because this is something we studied. This is something I studied. This is a patriarchal society, despite the fact that women has found ways to navigate that patriarchy and still found ways to achieve certain things, get a name for themselves. If you go back in time in Nigerian history, you would know that in back in time, like our ancestors and things like that, men were the order of the day, they were the rulers. It was a taboo for a woman to be seen in certain meetings and things like that. So this is a patriarchal society. That's what I want to say first of all.
Maybe it was then, but not now. But not now. That dynamic has shifted.
But one truth is that we are the ones color coding those whole thing. I think the natural order of things, authority, men as in tends to perform well when they are given authority than women. So it's not like
I don't enter another.
and it's
Yeah,
no,
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 I
I kind of
are taking us back
no.
to
Selena, I
previous.
strongly
I'm not
disagree with
taking
that
I'm not taking us.
statement.
It's
I
you guys
strongly
that drove
disagree
it's,
with
it's you
that
guys that
I
statement.
drove
also
us
disagree with what
into
you say.
I
relax.
strongly
It's you
disagree with
it's
that
you guys
What the
statement.
because
heck?
the question the initial questions Zion threw out there was on this thing who's BS risk and
Why are they
race
focusing on
related
the
something.
women?
Exactly. Then you guys brought patriarchal society. I'm not like trying to address this patriarchal society you guys are talking about. I'm asking, okay, it's just like for me, it's just like the natural order of things. Just that the problem is just that we are color coding it. Like we are kind of like giving titles to these things. It's not something that's not natural to me. But where I have issue is oppression of any gender. I don't believe in oppression of any gender. But if it is who should assume authority and who should, in the society, I believe men should stand in such position.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but
Okay,
I can't
okay.
Wait,
disagree
let
with everything
Chiamaka.
you said.
Chiamaka wants to
Because
say
you
something.
just said you're not oppressing any gender, but you're still saying you strongly believe that men should assume a position of
Now
power.
that's the
You can,
patriarchy
those
we're
two
talking
things
about.
are contradictory. You're
That's the
contradicting
patriarchy we're
yourself.
talking about.
You need
It's not
to say
contradictory.
DNA. That's
you are.
patriarchy.
They are
It's not
Just in
contradictory.
you. Honestly, for
You
you to
can't
make that
say one
statement.
gender should assume power over the other and say they shouldn't oppress. The moment power comes into play and you're putting one above another, you are oppressing one already. There's a statement
Maintaining
I'm going to say now. I just like really need to remember how it came out from the person's mouth. So I'm just going to hold it for now. And Ike, now to address the fact that the whole patriarchy society and everything, she was only trying to explain the reason why we think that it's women that bear the brunt of like most of like the don't do this, you mustn't do this because of the fact that it's just because of patriarchy. Patriarchy hurts both men and women. And I need like the society at large, I need men to actually start saying that putting you, I'm sorry that we're going off topic here, but like the patriarchy puts you in a position that makes you feel like you don't have the chance or the choice to feel some certain things. Do you know that men call emotion women like they say women are more emotional than men because women
Yes,
open up, they
yes.
cry,
Victor said
they
it
are
in the last
thoughtful. But
episode.
you people forget that anger is also an emotion. Anger is also an
Okay.
emotion.
Sorry.
But men
Let me
exhibit that and
let
then
me come
nobody
in.
say men are
Let me come in.
emotional.
You see, the reason why I oppose this patriarchy thing you guys are talking about is that Victor already said it all. It's based on the consequences. Who cares the consequences more? Women
exactly. That's what I was trying to say. This is how
women
to
stand at
patriarchy.
risk when anything
Obvious
goes
to
south in coitus related matters. So women stand greater risk. It's nothing. There's nothing related like. There's nothing
It's not. It's not. Exactly. It has nothing to do with
That's why
patriarchy.
I feel like
I'm fully not
I feel like the only
what
greater
are you
risk
saying, Zoe?
here, the greater risk here is just the fact that a man cannot get pregnant. But the same STDs that are out there,
Exactly. That's what I'm trying
like
to establish. The
men too
only
can get
That's it.
STD.
consequence is that the
Pregnancy.
woman gets to
Wait,
Pregnancy is
even that, even that STD. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Calm down. Can wait. Sorry. Can I even bring
Yeah,
up? Can I even say something? Even
yeah.
this idea of STD. Do you know that there's a drug right now is currently existing?
Mm-hmm.
If you take that shot, you can sleep with anybody for 6 months and you won't have any STD. So let's not bring up
that's the HIV. No, it's not HIV precisely. It's not for all STDs, sure. You know the ones talking about.
check. they've
know what
spread it
you're
broader.
talking about now. It's the one that
Yeah.
they brought into Nigeria
I think
recently. It's just for
we've gone off
legalized
track. We've gone off
not
track.
for
Let's
Okay,
we are not talking medicine
I
here.
understand what Peter is saying about the fact that it's pregnancy and all that. But please, what made you people think that pregnancy is something to be ashamed of? You
We're
can't
not talking of.
Wait,
It's not. It's not going to be a
let me
thing
tell
of.
you
It's
why.
when it's pre-married now.
Let me
When it's
I think
pre-married now.
I gave
I
you the
like
chance
that
to like air
question.
yourself out. So like I want to
Okay,
like
you
say
asked the
what I have
question.
in
You
mind.
asked the question. I want to answer you now.
I'm not done.
You
Like
see,
when
you
I'm
see,
done,
the
you
thing
can like
here is that
Wait, she said she's not done with the question, Victor.
when I'm done, you can like answer. I'm sorry. Like I think I'm building up to like a lot of things. First of all, she said patriarchy. You said the stigma from pregnancy and all that. The only reason why people think premarital pregnancies, ayadi adia, and all that is still everything still boils down to the society that we live in. And the society that we live in runs on the patriarchy. So yeah, the phrase I had to say was equality feels like oppression to those who are benefiting from it. That's not exactly the way the person said it, but equality feels like oppression to those who are benefiting from it. Both the man and the woman had sex. Why should I carry the stigma? Because I had a child. I made a child. I'm carrying a living being inside of me. Yet I wasn't married to this person. And who told society that you'd have to be married? A lot of people, especially now, do not want husbands. They just want children.
I like this
There is
point that you are going
nothing
towards. So you are
there
saying
is
that
nothing out there. There's nothing written in stone out there that says, oh, because I slept with a man and I have a child, I'm now like void and null or something. Like I should
Amaka,
now
you
feel
said
less of
something. Yeah.
myself. No.
I don't know. I don't know if it's me that
That's
is.
I want
like if we
see,
are looking at
I
it.
want to sorry Amaka to cut you a little.
the
I want
reason
to add
why
to this thing
you should be
you said
concerned about
now.
this what
I hold on
is that
first. I hold
I
on.
want to
so
add to what Amaka just said. There was this celebrity, I don't know if you guys know her. I don't want to mention her name, but she got pregnant, I think last year. And she got pregnant with one other celebrity, and they were not married. And this lady was dragged. She was dragged, she was insulted, she was told that because she's now pregnant, that she will not be able to live up to her potential, that she would not achieve so much anymore. And in all those talk and all those balderdash, nobody talked about the guy that was actively involved in that. Even when she was trying to film videos, do her live, you see people coming actively on her life and insulting her and telling her she's stupid and she doesn't have sense for getting pregnant and things like that. And the guy was living his life.
But don't you
This is
think,
just to
Amaka, don't you
re-emphasize.
think this
You
is
said,
why? Don't you think this is why society is trying to protect you guys? Because we know that you guys will feel the
they are
highest
not
hit.
protecting us. They are
No,
actually
you can't protect us from what you are
exactly.
causing. It is
Exactly.
society that is causing the harm. Let me tell you
It's not
something here.
causing anything.
It's just
If they were married
it's just
legally,
it's
they
like
won't
we're
be.
trying
They won't
to
be dragged.
Yes,
If they were
it's
married,
like
they
we're
won't be
trying
dragged.
to
They
do
won't
this
be
whole
dragged.
wait,
psychological
Victor,
battle.
thank you for
You are
thank you.
oppressing me, and then you're telling me that the only reason why you don't want to oppress me is you don't want me to feel oppressed is because you want me to stop these things. It's like when I have like something to say, but off topic and we'll go back. Yeah. It's like when women were not allowed in some certain spaces, like when you say, oh, men were built to like lead and stuff like that. And then there came women who were able to like prove themselves to society. And then it's now, oh, when you want to say, oh, she's an astronaut, and then everybody says, oh my God, it's a female and she's doing this, she's doing this. Like, not everybody has the potential to do that. Is society pushing a perspective on the rest of us? It's what we grew up in. It's like when, okay, Nigerians will say, I'm so sorry for this. It's like when Nigerians will say, indecent dressing. I think you guys talked about it last episode.
Yes.
Nigerians would like attack women for showing skin and all that. But I want you to people to also notice that some of these Western countries, people that colonize us and everything, they have things like nude beaches and all that. People do not attack people for showing skin. It's just the society we're born into. It's what you were brought up in.
Okay.
It's inbuilt in you. That's
Yeah.
why another reason why toxic masculinity is a really big thing in Nigerian society. You can't say society is not oppressing you. They are. You just refuse to see it because it has been ingrained in you. And some people who hate society, like me, I am pro anti-society for life. Because they are
Wow.
the cause of everybody's problem. They tend to
Wow.
take the majority and not the minority.
Wow.
What's
And
going
I'm
on here?
against
Wow.
that.
Okay, wait.
So
Before I forget,
Suffer
Amaka,
part one.
Amaka,
Go
hold on.
Amaka, go Amaka. Okay. Sorry, I want to say something. This
No
reminds
wahala.
Hey,
this thing she just said. This thing she just said reminds
Omo.
me of a lady I know. She's a career lady, right? I don't know her personally, but I've seen her and things like that. And she spoke about how she was, moving forward so much in her career, and she got to a point where she could buy a house, and people were telling her not to buy that. If she buys a house, she will never get married, that she will not find
Yeah.
a man if she buys a house. That kind of mentality that we should limit ourselves as ladies. We shouldn't do certain things. We shouldn't go
I'm
certain
against
heights
anything like that.
because we will not. You said?
I said that's one thing I'm against.
Yeah.
I think you are
no,
digressing there.
see,
But
no, wait,
we-
Zion,
we-
calm down, wait,
Still on that topic.
wait,
that-
hold on, wait. No.
All down to that
Okay,
topic.
Amaka, finish Evelyn, finish talking. I'll say something about this thing. This point you just raised, I'll say something more.
It still boils down to that equality we're talking about. I think it was Ike that was saying that there's this is not a patriarchal society. Who was saying that? I think it was Ike or Victor.
It was
that
me. It was me. I'm owning my full chair.
Okay. So I want to say that I'm giving you this point, this examples, this experiences to actually tell you that this is indeed beyond what I've studied, beyond what we've seen.
Beyond the
I'm
norms.
telling you life examples that happen to people that is actually still happening in this current time and age. I
Yeah.
think I was even speaking to Zion and he said it's a taboo for a lady to move out of the house.
Which time did I say
And
that?
if it's a guy, if it was a guy,
You see, Zion, you see what these guys are doing here.
and if it was a guy who
They are
Wait,
criminals, honestly.
wait. Let me just bring
Wait, are
context.
you?
Wait,
Are
Victor.
you done? Let me make my
Victor,
point.
before you make your
Okay,
point,
okay.
let me bring context to this accusation that this girl just laid upon me. What I said was this. I said I heard it from somewhere that in Igbo land, it is a taboo for a girl to move out of her father's house when she has not gotten married. So in Igbo land, it is expected that your husband comes to meet you inside your father's house. That's what I said.
That even still reinforces what I'm saying. Because if it's a guy, they will expect him to move out.
I said, guy,
of the
you need
house.
to go and
Okay,
hustle
Wait,
So,
Evelyn, wait, Zion, calm down. Evelyn, do you believe in wisdom of the elders, or you think the elders are foolish?
No, I believe that the elders are wisdomable, but there's also room for improvement.
They are old
Because
school.
Okay,
the elders
So
were ignorant
wait.
to an extent. Hello?
you can only improve on something. Wait, you can only improve on something that already has depth, right? We cannot agree on that.
You can improve on
You
something
can
that
only
does not
improve on
make
something
sense.
that already has what?
Depth.
That already has depth. That already has a solid foundation.
No.
Okay.
You can start again and do
Okay.
it.
So are you saying
So don't you think there is wisdom behind that lady not moving out of her father's
No, I
house?
absolutely understand that there is wisdom behind it, and I can see sense with that.
So
but I'm
why are you
trying-
opposing?
Please,
So why are you
I am
opposing?
absolutely
opposing that. I am only saying what
No, you literally said you literally attacked him for him saying that. So I'm curious
I am
why
trying
you're
to
attacking.
I am not trying to attack anybody. I'm trying to emphasize a point that I was stating. That was the essence of me bringing that out, to show you who was disagreeing with the fact of patriarchy being the order of day in our society. I was trying to re-emphasize that. That was why.
And you use that point. So how does that point to
Victor, don't
patriarchy?
just let's not dwell on that single point.
Is that
Okay, wait.
not
Okay, wait. That point. Hold on. So that point I said I wanted to make before it skips my mind.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why. Okay, let me start from the Twitter. There's a tweet I saw. They said if you hire 50 people, 25 men, 25 women, and you pay each of them 2.5 million, the guy was saying at the end of the year, you attend 97% of those men will get married, and less than 1% of those women will get married. Do you know the reason why? Do you know the reason why when you say as if society is against career women, do you know there is a reason why? Because every time we come online, we see these women, they're always dating upward. They never look down. They always look down on men they feel are below their standard. A man doesn't mind taking a girl, marrying a girl from a poor home, and raising her. I mean, we all know stories of men that train women and all that. But the issue now is when we've seen in society has given us a lot of examples of women that when they attain a height of success, they have these clouds, of what's the word to use? They feel that every man that hasn't attained their level is below them. We've seen it over and over and over again. That's the driving factor behind them. When you see a successful woman, they'll say you can't get married. And that's the truth. I'm not making it up. That's the truth.
And
So
you see, the reason why I say I hate
you
society.
can't come and blame society for saying that against women when the examples of women who should have given a different narrative didn't
Do you know why?
fail.
You see, the reason why I hate
Do you know why this is
society.
still against this is do you know why this issue now you just highlighted is caused by society still?
It's not caused by society. If
No, well, let me
individual women that
establish.
are giving these
Wait,
examples,
Victor, I think Amaka
me
and
establish.
Evelyn wants to say something. Let both of them make their point.
Let me
now
establish why.
you are preferring women over men,
No,
Zion,
now
and
Victor,
suspecting.
you be making your points. Yes,
Okay.
now let them talk now. Good.
You know what? Let me let Evelyn go first. Then I said Evelyn. Let me let Amaka go first. Then I'll go second after she says what she
Thank
wants.
you. You see, the reason why I said I hate society. Society will always take the majority over the minority. Victor, I'm not trying to dispute what you said. Yeah, there are some women out there that they focus on their career, they make men that are not up to par with them also feel bad and everything. Sure, let's not dispute the fact that a man will go for a woman lesser and like train her and all that, but that training is still there. Trust me, there's nobody in this life that wants to have a partner that's not up to par with them, unless you want to oppress your partner in your home. There are minorities, there are women out there who are career women, who are acing it in their fields of work, and they still treat their husbands with respect. They still treat their partners with respect. The reason why I say I hate society is the fact that you guys continue to center out the majority over the minority. I will always say this thing, it is the person and the person alone. It's not man or woman. If somebody disrespects you while they have nothing, they will disrespect you when they have everything.
Fuck.
It's not a matter of oh, she has or she does not have, or she's there or she's not there, or he has and he doesn't have. If somebody disrespects you when they have nothing, they disrespect you when they have everything. Let's stop looking at the fact that there are a lot of women that there are still some women out there who don't do this. There are still some women who value and respect their partners. It just depends on the individual, both man and woman. And that's the reason why I said society is a bitch. Once again, I'm sorry for my language. This is a podcast. So it's not the whole on Twitter this, on Twitter that. Women in a whole, whenever they are becoming successful in their field or wherever they are acing it, they tend to be more aggressive. You know why? Because the world shoots them down when they start. They make them feel like they're never going to amount to anything. So the moment they are killing it, they know to put it out there. I'm proud of the fact that I'm educated. I'm proud of the fact that I'm a graduate and I don't have kids now because, trust me, I can't take care of anybody. I'm proud of the fact that I'm making a way for myself in life. I'm proud of the fact that I achieved something that the supposed elders that you people say are wisdomable and all that have told me, my predecessors have told me I'm not going to amount to anything. And guess what? I amounted to something, and something much more beyond their own wildest imagination. I'm not saying elders are not wisdomable, but ignorance is a very big thing of the past, and those elders were very ignorant.
That's what I'm
All right, Evelyn, make your own point. Let's move on to something else, please.
Okay.
Wait, let Evelyn just make a point.
Honestly,
What?
I literally just want she said all that was in my head. It still boils down to what I wanted to say about the fact is that society is what constructed all of these thoughts in our head and in our minds, and how we perceive people. Because this thing Victor was saying is people, and probably the majority, and he's generalized it as women in general, and it's not true. So I would just say that
I didn't generalize. I said we see a lot of women. I didn't say women in general.
You said women. I didn't hear you say a lot of us. Okay, did you say a lot of women? Okay,
yes, I said a lot of women.
I stand corrected. I just wanted to say that all she has said is literally what I was trying to emphasize. Yeah, that's it.
I'm happy you both have been able to like express yourself and bring things from a female perspective. I think this is why we need women on this episode. Let it not be as if we are the ones fostering the patriotic society that you guys are speaking against. Yeah. I'm happy with most of the things you guys have said. Victor, do you guys want to say anything on this matter before we kindly move on to the topic for the
Yes,
day?
yes. Last point.
Shoot, shoot.
When they keep talking of society, also when you guys say society, you always mean because not everybody conforms to society. I mean, you people are obviously should I say the exception rules. You and some other people who don't have the mass mass mindset, the mindset of the masses or mob mindset,
You don't
so
have
to
head
speak.
mentality.
But yeah, yes, the head mentality. But here's where the issue. Here is where the problem is. You can't build how do I say it? Logically, you go with what is most common. You draw conclusion based on what is most common. I mean, if you're an engineering student, you understand that for example, it's like you remember Erwin Schrödinger when his breakthrough for finding electrons. His breakthrough actually wasn't finding an electron. It was about probability of where to find an electron. I'm bringing that out for a reason. When we tend to say things like women do this, it's because a majority. Now you can't come and tell us but not all of them. But we see a majority. Majority is always enough to draw reasonable, again, I'm saying reasonable conclusion of a fact. The fact that there are exceptions to that rule doesn't negate that the greater parts are not part of that. I mean, it's all common sense for anyone who would want to be
Yeah,
honest
I get
about
your
it.
point.
That's why I always have this issue of society. When you're saying society, there are exceptions, yes, but the most part of it is where we draw reasonable conclusions
Conclusions
from.
from. Yeah.
And that's what I want to point out.
Do you want to say something? I
I
think
don't know if you get my
Chiamaka
point.
wants to say something, but do you want to say something first?
Honestly, on this particular society that we have, they started talking about, I don't really think I have much to say on
Yeah.
this. I don't really think I have much to say on this
Okay.
particular.
Amaka, do you want to say
Let's
something
just
or
move
we'll
on.
move on? Actually, Amaka, is you I even wanted to there's something you said that I
Okay.
want to just quickly speak on just to bring us
I
back
want to say something.
to
And
okay,
like,
no
I
problem.
don't know why I just have a lot of off topic points. So like, I don't know what to tell Victor. So you said, yes, I agree with the fact that because there are exceptions in case it doesn't negate the majority. But then when somebody mentions not every man, but always a man, I'll hear men stand up. No, you're starting a gender war. You're starting this. No, but the majority of men are committing the evil out there. Not every man, but always a man. No, so now the minority seems to stand up and be shouting, "Oh no, you shouldn't say that. You're starting a gender war. You're starting." Oh, I shouldn't say it today, but when it comes to like the other things that society are doing, I should say, oh, because of their exceptions, we should not negate the majority. Nah, man. Like, I don't deny the fact that I might be a hypocrite. Yes, I have double standards in a lot of things. I am proudly saying it with my chest. But I expect people out there who are saying, I support this. Please support it in every aspect that is playing. Because if you are saying agreeable, majority is what you'd work on. Because, like, yeah, there are more people. We shouldn't use the few exceptions to like judge what you do. Sure. So if you agree with that, you should also agree with the fact when people say, not all men, but always a man. You wouldn't fight it outside like you support
Yeah.
that saying. Like, are you good with that?
Well,
But yeah, that's what I wanted
no
to
problem.
say.
I want us to just come back to topic. There was something you said, Amaka, when you were speaking earlier on. You said there was a statement you made where you were like, "Who told society you had to be married to get pregnant?" So my question to you now is this: do you feel like it's okay for a lady to get pregnant outside of marriage? And I'm asking this question in context of, I know we have Christians here, in context of religion and basically religion here. So what are your
Okay.
thoughts on
So
that?
first of all, I would say I'm really not that much of a religious person. I'm a Christian, but I will not like argue Bible verses and all that with you. Everybody's a sinner. I'm also a sinner and I'm finding my way to Christ. But
Based on religion, sure, you shouldn't get pregnant outside of your marital home. You should have a husband and build your family together. But now, in modern day, as we say, some people don't want husbands. Let's not just lie to ourselves. There are a lot of people out there who don't want to get married. There are a lot of people out there who just want their children. There are a lot of people out there who don't want kids. I have a
Like baby
friend,
mama.
and she wants a husband, but she doesn't want children. And she wants a husband, but she doesn't want children.
Huh.
And I have a friend out there who has gone through like a lot of things, and now she doesn't even want to see a man. Like she doesn't want a man within 5 feet of her. It's something she cannot help. Like she has to like work with people because like obviously you meet people on the road, you enter public transport, you do all that. But if she had a choice, she would snap her wrist, and all the men on this planet would die.
Ah,
And she has
I
gone
want
through
kill of
very,
us,
very
yeah.
tough.
She needs to heal. She needs to heal.
She needs to heal.
She
Like
needs
she
to
needs
heal.
to
That's
heal.
an
Yes,
issue.
I
I
just
agree
want
with it.
kilos.
She needs to heal. But like I am going to give it to her for now. Like throughout the healing process, like I'm going to give it to her. Like
So in
she can
summary,
heal
you are saying
for
that
sure.
there's nothing wrong with a woman deciding to have. Well, I think you've said that you're not a religious person. So I think
Yeah,
this will bring me
yeah.
to one of the core things that I want us to discuss, and I want to get all of us' opinion on it so we steer the conversation from there. Given that you said this now, and we are discussing the consequences of our parents, not educating us on sex and, hiding, shying away from having these conversations with us. I feel like one of the major repercussions of these things, as we've rightfully said, we've spoken about how the biggest consequence is usually on the women, where women get pregnant and things like that. In light of all of these things, the end product of a woman getting pregnant here and all of these things, in most cases, is abortion. So I want us to speak on the concept of abortion, given that we've said all of these things and we know that our parent generation has failed when it comes to educating their children on sex education. And when you, like, whatever you sow, you will reap. When you don't take out the time to educate your kids on sex and all of these things, and they end up having children out of wedlock, in our society and the kind of religion that we practice, would you say abortion should be the right way to go, or is something that should be shunned? What are your thoughts on abortion?
Okay, let me start by saying that I think in Nigeria generally we have actually we are very much against the fact it's not legal in Nigeria to perform abortion.
Oh,
But
wow.
if,
I didn't know
in my
that.
own opinion, I would say that we should start performing it.
It's
In
not
fact,
legal. Who said it's not legal?
No, yeah, it's
it's not
actually
like
not
abortion is
Are you
not legal in
serious?
Nigeria.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, it's not
legal.
legal. It's not.
Oh,
So,
I didn't
in
know.
my opinion, I would say we should start performing it. In fact, government
Hmm.
should regulate it so that
Wow, you are saying so the government
people
should
who want
take
to
actions towards fostering abortion. Is that what you're saying?
relax. Yeah, really. Usually in countries where it's legal, it's government that still pass it into their constitution and make it legal
Hmm.
for people to start doing it. So if at all it's going to be legal in Nigeria, it's government that's going to pass it into the law and will start doing it. So I'm saying that it should be regulated here. Doctors should be told to advise people who want to perform it to actually the consequences and everything involved, and it should also when things like that happen, subsequently people would not feel that it's risky to perform it,
Yeah.
and from then on people can start performing it if they are not okay with the if they're not okay with the child, that in case of rape and when you are not ready, like this unwanted
Yeah,
pregnancy
in
stuff. I don't
cases of
know.
rape, that's
Usually,
true.
yeah,
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
usually I've seen cases like even in my street right now, there is this pregnant girl. It limits you. That's the truth. It limits that it's part of this thing we are talking about, the risk involved. That I say that women bear the risk most.
Yeah.
If a girl gets unwanted pregnancy, usually it limits her career. Like I mean, to an extent, it does limit her career. So if in this situation now governments regulate it and they start performing it, I believe it's going to really help and go a long way. So I'm in support of it
So you
actually.
are pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Definitely.
I would like to
Yeah,
touch.
so I think I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm coming. I would like to touch some of the
Yeah,
things
are you
that
ready?
Ike said. I think Ike, you touched on a couple of things that I would like to also go into. You said you're pro-abortion and you feel like the government should be the one regulating it. And you spoke about the issue of rape, like in the event that a person is raped, I feel like it is only logical that they abort that child if they are because obviously if they rape you, you were most likely not ready to have a child or anything like that. But I want to hear other people's opinion. So what are you guys' thoughts on abortion, the whole concept of abortion?
Okay, Zion, I think I already like told you my stand on this, like in our earlier conversation.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it's your body, your choice. But then at the same time, I think there are like systems that should be put in place for things like this. Because a lot of the time when people bring up the topic of abortion, some people like, oh, they're against abortion because they're just thinking of the fact that people that have like premarital pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, people that are doing like having sexual intercourse before marriage and like they get pregnant. A lot of people don't put into consideration that there are a lot of reasons why somebody would want to abort their child. One. So as Ikena said earlier, rape is like a person shouldn't be forced to carry a child, not just because of the fact that they might not be ready to have that child. The person shouldn't be forced to carry a child that they would hold resentment towards after the child is given birth to. I
Yeah.
think it's postpartum disorder. I think there's something like that. And then some people like tie the identity of their child to the
So what
bad
does
thing
that
that's
mean? What does
happened to them.
postpartum disorder mean? I'm sorry to
So
cut you.
like you start to hate your children or hate yourself or hate your children after giving birth.
Oh wow.
Like it's not like you just feel that
That kind
this,
of thing.
I don't know where that is hate. You just detest
It's like
the
that
whole
child
situation and
reminds you of
everything.
that event.
Yeah, and not just for like rape. There are some people that give birth under normal circumstances
And they still
and they
hate
have
their
like
child.
postpartum depression and like they start to hate their children.
Oh,
Like
now
they have
window.
to like go therapy and stuff like that. That's like a cause. That's like one instance where I think abortion should like be allowed. But I'm still your body, your choice. Then there's the instance of okay, I think I was on social media one day. Please don't judge me. My reels, they really bring out a lot. There was I think I see like in America or where are they like fighting, oh they want to make sure like abortion is not legal anymore. And then there was this particular lady that works like onto a protest where like two men are, and then they're shouting, "Oh, you shouldn't abort your kids, you shouldn't abort," and and then she's like, "They should keep quiet because you're not the one carrying the child. If you were the one carrying the child, you'd have like the right to make the decisions."
So
And
you're
then she's
saying
like,
men should
her
have no
daughter,
say.
her daughter was forced to give birth to a child without a skull. She held the child for like a few seconds to a minute, and then the child died in her arms just because abortion was not allowed. Why force somebody to go through the pain of giving birth to a child that they are going to watch die?
Mm.
There are like health conditions attached to it. So I think I need people to like look at abortion from like a wider spectrum, like a wider range. It's not just people with that have premarital sex that want to abort their kids. There are different reasons why people want to take abortion. Like who wants like give abortion a chance. But at the same time, I think people should be educated, as Itina said. People should be educated. Like you should have people in the place of okay, why do you want to terminate this child? These are the things that are involved. There's a very huge probability that this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And there's some people that die after getting abortion just because we don't have those systems in place. Because I think everybody has heard of the hanger method. If you've not heard of the hanger method, oh my God, you are so innocent. But I think everybody here should have heard of the hanger
I
method.
never
Not
heard of
me.
it.
No,
No,
no, no,
I've
no,
not
no. I
heard
have
of
not.
it.
Hey,
I've
but
not
okay.
heard of that before.
Not heard of
Okay,
it
nobody
ever.
should judge me. I went to an only girls secondary school, and so I think this is like something
Okay,
that people
hanger
should know.
method
So the
that you
hanger
use
method
hanger
is
to
where
remove the
the
embryo.
hanger method is where you take this this very olden days iron, that metal one, that one that they used to twist
Yeah.
the thing to the hook. So they unwrap it, they sterilize according to like however they did it. Then they insert it and use it to yank out
Jesus
the child.
Christ.
Damn.
Okay, now
That
that you have said it,
sorry.
I've heard it. I've actually
Yeah, that's the
heard of this
hanger
method. Yeah,
method.
yeah.
And like there are people, and I don't think it just started from school. I think like because of the fact that abortion is not legal
Shamaka,
and all.
sorry let's backtrack a bit. Wait. So you are saying this hanger method, they were practicing it in your secondary school in Nigeria here.
No, not in my school. I just went to an only girls school, so like it was something that was like a common gist, like you could play around with it because like it was an only girls school.
But
You would talk about things
did
like
they ever perform
oh,
such?
I wasn't in the hostel, but I know that they did not. I went to a Christian secondary school. I went to Baptist. I went to Baptist Girls Academy. I went to please.
Na
I don't think
pastor
anybody
na
tried that in
pastor
the
daughters
hostel.
na im dey spoil pass now. Na no no.
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely do
Sure.
believe that. I genuinely do believe that. But
Mhm.
I think maybe my predecessors, people that were there before me, people that were there before like I ever got into the school. But I think like I don't want to debate.
Yeah. In
I don't
summary,
want to
your body,
debate.
your
So
choice,
yeah,
Abi.
yeah. Your
Makes
body,
sense.
your choice.
Okay.
Yeah. There should be systems put in place. Because of the fact that those systems are not in place, people do that. So people do that and then you end up if you make a mistake, you end up bleeding and then you've
Yeah.
lost your life. So
Evelyn, let me
these
hear your
systems
point of
need to be
view.
put in place.
Yeah.
Okay, personally, I believe abortion is murder. I know that but I also believe that it's subjective, right? It's subjective to the situations in which the pregnancy occurred. Because even when murder is committed, the situation in which that murder was committed, if it was self defense,
Yeah.
it can be pardoned and things like that. So I will not still downplay the fact that it is murder, but there are terms and there are times and there are situations in which it is pardonable, like situations of rape, situations of that this child is probably going to come out with. Let's say the child is a sickle cell child, and the child will probably even wish that the child was never born. Because I've heard a child who is a sickle cell say that to his mom. He was like, why did you let me come into this world and go through this suffering every single time? So there are situations in which abortion should be pardoned, but I
When you
feel
say
like a lot of
pardon, when you
people
say
do it
pardon, like
now.
is a crime
You
or a
said?
sin? I'm saying you are saying there are
Hmm?
situations that abortion should be pardoned. So are you saying that is a crime or is a sin? Because you cannot pardon something that is not a crime or not a sin.
I'm saying that no. Now, if you say it's a crime is very subjective to societies. If it's a Nigerian society, the crime that might be something that might be considered a criminal offense in Nigeria might not be considered a criminal offense in another country. So when you say crime, that's very subjective. Yes, abortion is murder, like I said, but just like killing somebody is murder, there are also situations where killing somebody is justified, like self defense and all. That's why I also said situation, you have to also consider the situation in which abortion happens. I think we said it's illegal in Nigeria, right? Abortion is
Yeah.
illegal here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Did we say that?
Yeah.
So if
Yes, yes, we
yeah,
did it.
so if it's illegal in Nigeria, I believe that if a person is going to be convicted for abortion, they should also consider the situation in which that pregnancy occurred or the reason for that decision. Because I feel like a lot of young ladies now don't make informed decisions when they want to abort a child. They might just do it because they don't feel like they're ready. They might just do it because there might even be couples that they felt that they feel like they want to have 3 kids. Probably they're married and they feel like they want to have 3 kids, and somehow another child gets in the way and they abort that child because it goes against their plan. And that's like a potential, that's a baby, right? They
Yeah.
took off because it was trying to get in the way of their plans. I know somebody, this person was actually my mom's friend. He was telling my mom about his last child. His last child was not planned for. They didn't want that child. They tried to abort the child. They took things to try and take away the child, but the child was
Hmm.
just not dying. And this child
Hmm.
eventually was giving birth to, she was a girl, and she outperformed all their other kids. She's like, the other kids are like,
Destiny child.
should I say bombs now? You said?
I said destiny child.
Exactly. She's like so gifted and so good. Imagine if they had taken away this child, they had aborted her because she was disrupting their plans. Like, so I'm actually still pro the fact that it's not legal because a lot of people do these things with very illogical reasons. You have a baby in your belly, and probably God has decided to bless you through this child, and you decide to take that child away. Or probably this child is one of the children that will change things, or something, one of the childs or something like that that will change things in your environment or things like that, and you decide to take away that child. It's I feel like abortion is murder, but given the circumstance, it's pardonable,
I
as I
think I
said.
think a lot of the things you've said so far has made so much
Yeah,
sense.
I think if you are against it, then you are against it. If you are with it, you are with it. This definite child
I
you are talking about, it still doesn't change the fact that if the child does not fit into their plan, they should go ahead and because you think the child is destined, they should go ahead and bring the child into you.
I
Honestly, you might in the end of the day, if they can't cater for that child's need, they will be suffering the children, which is what many which is what is happening in Nigeria in many cases
You
now.
see a lot
You
of
see
them
families that
so
abroad.
cannot take care of.
so okay. So you're pro the fact that if they can't take care of that child, if they can't take care of the child, they should kill the child. They should abort the child.
I like I
Can you
said, it
kill
should be
something that wait,
regulated.
you're using the word kill. Can
Doctors
you
should.
kill the child that has not yet been born? So can you kill something that
Yeah,
has not
like
yet
they're
existed?
taking
The child when
like
do you know that
what?
when
Victor
I
has
know
not
it's a
even said
law
anything. No.
strong
Now we don't let
yeah, it's
Victor
a
give his
strong
opinion.
he said
No.
it's I
I'm
feel like
waiting.
okay. So I was saying it's I feel like yeah, killing is probably a strong word, but at the end of the day it's murder. I made some research about this topic before I came on here because I've always believed that abortion is murder, but it's justifiable, right?
Yeah.
If you conceive a child, when you conceive a child as a woman, there are changes that happen in your body over a couple of weeks in your hormones. That child starts building connection with you even before it while it's becoming a zygote to a fetus and blah blah blah, the whole stage, it starts forming a personality. It's literally becoming a person little by little, right from conception. So it's still killing of a child. It's still killing of somebody, even though I feel like that's a hard word to use. That is still what it is.
Hmm.
It is still what it is. But at the end of the day, we need to consider the actions, the situations in
That
which
led
the
to
action was
that
carried
decision.
out.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm entirely against it. I'm stating a fact, which is this is what it is, right? But I'm also saying that yeah,
That is what I'm saying.
I ain't saying a destiny child.
Sorry, that's what I'm saying as well. You consider you go to the hospital where you want to perform it. If this thing is illegal and we are not like shy. I think the major reason why we don't want to have that discussion in Nigeria is because moral standpoint, Nigeria always like want to do holier than that and all those stuff. So if it's legal in a way, you go to the hospital and you tell your doctor, I think is a big enough reason. You tell your doctor, okay, see, I can only take care of three at this point. To this, it's people economy. I can only take care of three, but I don't want. I don't, I don't want to do four because
firstly, I
I
feel
Wait,
like
please. Let's
your
let's
doctor
let
will
Victor give his opinion because Victor has not said anything on the question. So before we digress,
no
before we go
problem,
in
no
depth, I want to
problem.
hear Victor's opinion on the matter.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I'm anti-abortion, no matter how you want to look at it. Not just for
they
not
ever
just for the
agree.
sentimental, not just for the
She's an
sentimental reason.
extremist. She's an extremist.
Number one reason is, first of all, we are talking of a human being, and that human being is entitled to human
But my
rights,
question
which
though
we
is
all
like,
enjoy.
would you consider a 2 months? Let me not say 2 months. A 1 month or 3 weeks baby a human
A
being?
zygote that does not have a developed brain, you are calling it a human
What
being.
if
I don't understand
Wait,
though.
hold on. Wait, hold on.
Its
Hold on.
brain is not
Wait,
yet
that was
developed.
wait,
Up
it's
enough.
of human and it has started
hold on. Wait. Wait. Sorry. This might let me. When you say what makes somebody a human being, is it not the
I think what makes
Consciousness.
you
concept?
what
No,
makes you
it's
what
not
makes you a human
it's the
being?
personality
What makes
and
you a human being
consciousness.
is your
Hold on.
brain.
Wait.
Is your
Hold
brain.
on. It's conscious. Oh, good. Oh, good. I love what you said, brain. Now, if the
Yes.
brain knows that it should be forming, it's supposed to be formed. If the brain is conscious enough that it should grow from a zygote to an embryo, don't you think
Bro,
that is
bro, let me
consciousness?
tell you something. You see, brain. You agree with me that the brain receptors and everything that happens with you
Oh,
is controlled by the brain.
of
Do
course.
you want to, do you not want to tell me that when they insert these forceps and these zygotes, they feel pain? Is that what you are telling me? They don't have the developed brain yet. They don't feel pain. They don't think. They don't do anything. They are just forming. It's just like saying
Okay.
that
So,
somebody that
are
wants
you
to
saying?
now that
Okay, wait.
you are
So,
killing your
you
baby
saying
by
wait. Wait,
wanking.
using your analogy, using an analogy of underdeveloped, would you say that a child that cannot walk is less than a human because he can't walk? Because that's basically what you're
He has a
saying.
Walking
brain.
is
He
not
has
what
he has a
classifies a
developed
person
brain.
as
He
a
can
weak
think.
human now.
Ike, no. See, that we are not talking. We are talking. See, the
Victor,
crux of the matter here is development. You are the one that brought in development,
Victor, yeah,
not me.
I'm standing on what I said. He has that child you are talking
Exactly.
about. Has
So
developed brain. He can feel
are
things.
you now saying a child that is still crawling or that cannot talk is less of a human?
But the child can feel things, right?
Oh my God, you are still saying pain. You are still saying what you are doing is secular reasoning. What you are doing is secular reasoning.
For the
You
toddler
are
you're
not
talking
answering my
about,
question.
he has
You are not
the toddler
answering.
have
Okay,
at least
let's not fight.
at least
Let's not
essence
fight.
already.
What you are doing is secular reasoning. Is
It's not
you're
secular
just
reason I'm
coming
talking
back to
about.
your own point.
Victor,
Wait,
He
wait,
the
wait,
answer
wait.
to your question is, and like what I'm just trying to say is that when the zygotes or the early stages of a child, your brain is not yet formed in the belly. The brain is not the first part of the human body that starts to form. I think everybody knows that here, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows the older your pregnancy gets, the harder it is to terminate without probably losing your life or serious complications. I'm very sure that everybody here is aware of that.
Yes.
That the um most suitable time and like safest time to terminate the pregnancy would be within the first month of it. First month to roughly a month and a half. That would be like safest time to terminate a child. And by that time, the child's brain is not even thinking of forming.
Like you can't even feel anything. It can't feel anything.
There's not even like there's not even limbs, there's not anything. There's no anything there. It's just still like yeah, feedings, yeah, like you put a seed in the inside a pot and then you just keep on watching it every day. And you see that very light green, almost white stalk that just pokes out of the flower bed. So like if he's saying a brain in that sense, I genuinely think here you can give it to him as a valid point. Brain is not the first. And then you can't say a 2-month-old child. That's a human being because it has already come out.
Okay,
it has seen
wait,
it has
wait.
cried its first tears. It's
Victor.
the child itself can tell. Like I like the fact that you say personality. There's something somebody told me recently. I just learned it last year, and then he says people grow through nature and nurture. Nobody's born with a personality. We're all born blank scripts. It is nurture that brings us. No,
I disagree with that.
we are all
Everybody born with personality.
we are all blank scripts when we come out. You didn't
No.
you didn't come out.
Okay. Sorry,
I'll disagree with that.
You
I
didn't
also
come out
kind of-
and have it in your mind
I
that
also
you were
kind of
going to be
disagree with.
and that pro-life.
I disagree with
I
that.
also kind of
Everybody's born
disagree
with
with.
personality.
I also
Evelyn,
kind of
Everybody
disagree
wait,
is
Evelyn
born
wants to
with
say
blank
something.
sheets.
Let's hear Evelyn. Yeah.
I also kind of disagree with what she said because I studied sociology again, and one of the theories we talked about when I was studying was this tabula rasa that children are said to be born with,
Break it
which is a
down for
blank
us,
sheet.
people. What's with
It's
the
a
tabula
blank.
rasa?
It's literally a blank tab, like what she said. You're born blank,
Oh.
and nature and nurture takes place. That's one of the many theories that were there because people just came about based on their empiricism, which is like experience and what they've taken note of,
So
made
you're saying that theory has been
observations
debunked?
and propounded theories. So this is just one of the many theories. Now, after many studies and objective experience, I've been able to see and I can actively say that people are born with a personality and then nature and nurture comes into play to shape them into a person, into some kind of person, into their
So the
unique
personality is
personality.
subject to
It's a
change.
mixture. It's subject to change. So nature and nurture comes into play. They have a very, very powerful influence in who a person becomes, or that person's in-depth personality, that DNA, that whatever makes that person different from every other person is what makes them unique, actually.
Yeah.
Because we can see in a situation whereby we have a mom or a parent give birth to twins, right? And these two children are put in the same society, that probably that society is very rough and there are lots of thugs in that society. And one of them decides to, this is a real life example. So one of them decides to become very successful, while the other one decides to become a tout. These people were groomed in the same environment. They are of the same age. They literally had the same nurture, right? So the only thing that made them unique, that changed their perspective and their outlook on life,
Was
and
that
the
internal?
kind of results.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that internal resolve and the decision to be different, to do something different. One decided to go this way. The other one decided to take the hard route rather. So this is where that unique, how do I don't know the word to use that as, I don't know if to say that
I get what you're
personality, but I
saying.
don't know if you guys can get what
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
get
to
what
say.
you're saying. And
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense.
So nature and nurture plays a huge part, but your personality, that thing that makes you different, is still very much there.
I think let's
Evelyn, you just
let
talked about theory. You just talked about theory now. Just
Yeah.
have that in mind, Sha. You said the theories you talked about. You said there are other people that have propounded theories that there are people are babies are initially don't have any personality until nature and nurture takes effect
Yeah.
on them. So it's not like your own. It's not like your own is a law. It's still a theory as well.
Yeah.
That's what I just want you to have in
It's
mind.
not that mine's. Yeah, honestly, the truth is everything, despite the fact that there are laws, right? A lot of things perceptions that we come up with is based on people's perspective, right? A lot of things. And mine, what I just stated is rooted in laws, right? It is very much rooted in laws and research. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I
Then
think
again, you can
wait.
start to say that.
Chiamaka, sorry, hold on. Let's I think
Okay.
Victor was trying to make a point still on this issue
Yes.
of let him just land, because I want him to finish he was trying to make a point. Victor, about his stance.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still based on that. I was still speaking on abortion. Number one is, why I said it's more than, because that personality is already being developed in the womb. That's one. And having a personality, it already means that he's already a human being that is still developing. Therefore, he's entitled to rights. So you saying you want to abort him is already rooted in murder, which is one. Number two, this thing you people were saying about what they say, you can't take care of one, I believe is has to do with irresponsibility. There's something called family planning. If after 3 kids you don't want any kids, go get yourself fucking sterilized. Pardon my language.
Okay, wait, Victor,
And
what
then
of
this
what of
issue
during
will
our
stop.
forefathers' time when things like family planning did not exist? What would
They
they do in
had
that
their
situation?
ways. Was abortion not as widespread as it is now?
That's what this thing.
No,
you just said
it was just not as open to the public. It was still happening. It's just that people would hide it. I think that's like one of the reasons why this whole hanger method is also a thing. It's because people couldn't seek help from like the right authorities. So it was still happening, just because people didn't care about it.
Again, it still circles back to what I'm saying. It has to do with a personal irresponsibility. Why should a girl in secondary school be opting for the hanger method? What is she even doing with having a child in her in the first place? I mean, we all talk of
Maybe she was raped by her chemistry teacher. Maybe she was raped by a teacher and she got pregnant. So what's she supposed to do in the situation where she didn't have a choice?
Victor,
What's she supposed to do with the child? She's supposed to have.
Tell her parents. Of course, we know parents act different ways. But the fact that she has spoken up, we all talk about people speaking up. So she should speak up. Then the parents can take actions against the person that.
So what will happen to her? Like what will happen to the baby?
What's down there?
And that's why before I made a report, I said people react differently. Yeah. Now, in a situation whereby they now probably shun her, or you know how some parents can be, you now be like, how do we know we are not the one that made him, like incited the whole thing in the first place? In that case, it can be done, but then I feel there's already a child, so this is what happened. Move forward with it.
At the end of the day,
tell me that a 9-year-old, I hope we all know that like a 9-year-old can get pregnant, right? Like we're all aware of that.
9 years old,
is able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So telling me that a 9-year-old that has been raped, that's still a child, as somebody who doesn't know anything, it has been raped, is pregnant, and then she should decide that, okay, I'm going to push through, I'm going to have this child. To do
And
what
then
to
you
do?
will have a child. Like,
To do what to do?
You're even risking her life
Yeah,
by
that's
allowing
it.
her
You're
to carry
risking
on
her
with
life,
this.
one. But to do what to do?
Exactly.
Let's now, I'm going to give you like one of like the saddest imagine stories out there. She's an orphan, she's a scholarship student. She gets raped by a teacher. She has a child. The school now decides to, like, you know what, they're going to cover it up because like they're a very respectable institution and
Integrity.
academy, and they don't want that. What do you want her to do? Carry the child, to give birth to a child at 9. She's going to probably be 10 by the grace of God when that child comes. What does she want to do?
Jesus.
To raise a child? She has not even been raised herself. So what do you want her to do? I really
That
want to know, in that situation, what would you have
Let
that child
Victor
do?
and Evelyn
Keep
wait
the
talk
child?
Wait,
say
that has to do.
let
Wait,
of them answer.
hold on. That has now do with the injustice of the society. That is one of the
No.
society's failings because
Yeah,
why is
that's
that
like
an
injustice of
option?
society. But I'm asking, what do you want her to do
we're
with
talking
that
about
child?
the individual now.
Yeah, what do you want
Yeah,
her
the
to
Hell,
do?
individual. What do you want her to do with that child?
there are organizations that all prefer solutions to that.
Do
So
you
you should
think
meet
at
them.
9? Do you think at 9? Do you think at 9
Okay.
the first thing that's going to come to your mind is, oh, I should go to who are the
Organization.
bodies in place? And like, let's just
Okay,
say
wait.
before now, when schools are
Okay.
getting sensitized
I
on
think
these
let's make it
organizations,
personal. Let's make
when
it
we
personal.
hardly know
Sorry,
this stuff.
Chiamaka. Let's make
Yeah.
it personal a bit. Victor, God forbid, let's say your daughter is 9 years old and somebody raped her and she got pregnant. What will you do?
She'll carry it to full term.
Jesus. You allow your 9 years.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Because wait, hold on. Because going through that scene, hold on.
Jesus.
First of all, her body is not we know that there are risks. But how do we know aborting it at that age won't complicate it more for her?
There are medical experts that can carry out these procedures without.
Exactly. If done properly, there's no effect. There's no
Like-
if done properly. It's when you go to a quack that they
Yes, when you do
handle
class
it wrong.
And hunger
like
method.
that.
That's why I said it should be made legal. It is made
Yeah,
legal. And you go to a specialist.
We
they'll do
have
it
still
properly.
bet. Wait, I even that your quack idea is we have still bet. People that give birth to dead babies. Are you saying those doctors are quack?
No. Stillbirth is different from. It's not the doctor's fault. Let's not put that on the doctors. Stillbirth is not the doctor's fault. Let's not put that on the medical
Exactly.
professional out there.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. These are natural occurrences. Now you can't say that because of
Victor,
abortion, quack, and you that's
Victor,
irrational. That's irrational
I would
thinking.
like to let you know that
Accident happen.
your-
Accident happen.
you-
Accident.
your millions
happen.
of followers now. You've lost a few female followers because of what you just said. You've lost a few female followers because of what you just said. Then,
It's very
then I
insensitive,
don't
honestly.
think,
Because
I do not think a child should have to carry another child. I do not think a child has to carry another child. First of all, what if your child dies while carrying that child? What if your child dies?
What if you don't get?
No. I'm not just saying. No, let's leave the part. But what if she dies? You know, okay, there's this lady on Instagram. She calls herself the lady with the list. Oh, that's what we call her. I follow her. The lady with the list. And then she has like more than 300 reasons now why she's never having a child. She has more than 300 both medically proven reasons plus other things why she's never having a child. And then I'm forgetting the medical term they use, and then it's like the opening of a hole in your body where it is not supposed to be. Do you know that it's very possible for you to give birth to a child and then a hole opens between your anus and your vagina, and then things that are supposed to come out of the anus start coming out from your vagina?
Jesus Christ.
There's something called C-section. C-section.
It's not an infection. It's not an infection.
No, he
Like,
said
it's like-
C-section.
I said
Cesarean
It's like
section.
C-section. Yes.
Okay. So like
Cesarean
there is
section.
okay. C-section. You want to do a cesarean section in 9
To cut her stomach
I
and
feel like
remove a
we're
child.
forgetting the fact that this is still a child. This is still a child in a growing body. I don't know how.
like
It's
Victor,
like
what are
you
you
are
really
saying.
saying actually?
She does
I
not
feel like
even
you're
have a
saying
developed yes.
premature.
So
Like
It's like you're
Hold
saying.
on. Wait. Can we be very objective now? Can
Yes,
I?
we're
yes,
being
yes.
objective here. Objective is what
Okay. Okay,
Please, I'm
all
being
right. You know,
pessimistic here. I
Wait,
need you
let
to
him make his
listen to this
point.
from a sense
Let
of
him make his point.
pessimism.
I think he wants to explain further. Let him make his point.
can we be objective here?
Yeah.
Now, when they say woman has a period, what does that mean?
Ask
It
them.
means that her body is able, in the absence of complications, her body is able to carry a child.
Mm.
Yes or no?
Sure, and
Good. Now,
In some situations,
if
in some
wait, hold on,
situations, okay.
calm down.
Oh, good.
Calm down. Okay.
No, you want me to agree with something and I don't. That's why I'm trying to object to it. But no problem. Just finish
I'm
chopping
not.
what
I'm
you're
not.
saying.
I'm not asking. I'm not asking you to agree. I never said that. I'm trying to make a point here. Now, if a 9-year-old can get pregnant, I mean, her body is able to take in. Doesn't that mean that with the right care, she might not be dead? She might not die in the process.
Yeah.
Isn't that objectively rational?
Yeah.
sure, it's objective, but there's still the possibility that she's going to die and the child is going to die.
Okay, let me ask you a more precise
There's
question,
always, there's
Victor.
always a possibility.
Sorry,
True.
still on that matter, Victor. Let me ask you a more precise question. You,
Okay.
God forbid, like Zion said, in hypothetical situation, right? You have a child
Okay.
and the child is 9 years old and the child has another child. It's pregnant, obviously, and you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you that if you keep this child with this girl, that there's a 70% chance the delivery would not be successful, and if you there's a 70% chance that you might lose your girl, right? And if you actually decide to abort this baby, it's more safe for your girl. What decision would you make in that situation? Because you're saying that you would let the child carry the baby she's with for the course of time and give birth to that child. But when you have this knowledge now from someone who is medically inclined telling you that there's higher chances and higher risk for your girl, what would you do in that situation?
What we'll do is very simple. There's something we call it's very I don't know why you're laughing.
No, the way
It's
you
very
said is very
simple.
simple.
There's
I'm
always
sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
option. There's always the option of putting the baby in an artificial incubator. I mean, there's something we call IVF. You can grow the baby in an artificial incubator.
Hmm.
Of course, carrying it for full term, I know it has risk. I mean, her body is still young, her muscles and all that. So you can still take it out, put it in an incubator, and let the child grow while she lives her life.
So you are
So
just
why did you say
against
this
killing the child.
earlier? Why did you say let her carry it? If you had told me that, oh,
I,
you
I was
transfer
I
it to
was
like
against abortion. You people presented two options. She keeps it or she aborts it, and I wasn't for the abortion.
you could have, in life here, because of you are giving two options, it doesn't mean that there are only two paths to take. We just finished talking about personality.
Two options. You were only going
We
to
just
hear from
Yeah,
we
we
just
asked
finished
him a
talking
direct
about
question. We gave him two
personality and
options.
uniqueness. You just finished talking about personality and uniqueness. Pave your own way. You don't have to follow our two paths. If you had genuinely said, okay, I don't agree with your two options, I genuinely believe there could be better solutions, I would not have argued it out with you. I put two options here because I just wanted to be like as pessimistic as possible. Like I wanted you to like be put on the spot. But yeah, I was expecting you to say this whole IVF thingy. Like that was what I
So
was
you
waiting
agree
for.
with this
But the
IVF thing
moment
that
you
he
said
said?
full term, yes, I agree with the idea
Yeah.
that if you are against like your child, you can always move it to another person. There are people out there who can't have kids. There are people out there who want these
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Sure, if you
Okay.
can move it and it's not
Okay,
going to have
IVF.
that baby girl,
IVF
because I
people
don't
are
think a
talking
child
about
should have a child. I don't think a child should have a child. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
It sounds so wrong, actually.
IVF people are talking about is a recent technology, Sha. That's in my own. Okay, now let's
It's not
assume there's nothing like
that's
IVF.
it's not different to
Is relatively
more than
recent.
it's
It's
more than a
relatively
decade.
recent.
A decade is still
It's more than a
recent now,
decade.
guy.
It's not.
It's relatively recent in medical terms. It's relatively. That's why I use the word relatively.
Yeah.
So
I
let's
agree.
assume.
2011,
Let's assume. Let's assume there is nothing like IVF, and you are faced with that choice. Yeah, you are faced with that two choice. How are you going to do?
Ike, let me pose that question to
cannot-
you. Wait, Ike, if you are faced with that choice, your 9-year-old daughter got raped and she has a child, what will you do?
I will not think twice about it. It's going to be abortion. I will not think twice.
Honestly,
Honestly.
that's why the situation in which these things happen should always be looked at.
I agree
There
with
should
I
always
too.
be Yeah, there should always
Should
be
abort it.
looking into context. But that does not mean that what it is, the truth is not still the truth, right?
That is murder.
The context, yes, the context
Exactly.
should always be looked at critically. Because if we legalize something like this now, a lot of people will become way more careless, and they would want to remove babies for very flimsy reasons.
Like
So
after hookup.
Yeah,
I think that's the reason why Ikena
reasons
was
that a
trying to
little
buttress the point.
reasons that a little maturity could have solved if we're mature
exactly,
enough.
that is why
I think that's
I'm. Mhm.
I think that's the reason why Ikena was trying to like buttress the point on the rights, like individuals with knowledge on these things should be put in place. I think both of us were saying it that even
Yeah,
as much
yeah.
as we agree to
Yeah,
it, there needs to be knowledgeable people. Like I genuinely feel like if you go to the hospital and the reason why you don't want to have a child is because of the fact that you just don't want to have a child, I don't think a doctor should like abort.
because
Like,
it's
There should be
selfish.
a
It's selfish of the
checklist. There should be a
person.
like
checklist.
there needs to
And
be knowledgeable
Yeah,
professionals on this before things like that. So like it can
because
still be legalized and knowledgeable professionals put in place to help us. Sure, like I don't think there's anything that's legalized that there are not people with knowledge about. Like there are no professionals out there that give like advice on stuff.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
think Victor said something about family planning. Yeah, like it's very stupid for a family that already has three children. And like what happened to family planning? What happened to getting a vasectomy? What happened to
exactly,
taking your womb out? You know, you didn't
exactly,
want any, like you
Jesus,
could
so
have
you
done
can
all
remove
this
your
exactly.
womb.
that
All of these
things
things.
put in place.
Now they
This thing
shocked me
you're
for this
saying is
episode.
very true, and this thing you're saying now, sorry, Amaka, is very very true and profound because it's not just it's not just a disservice to yourself, it's a disservice to society, right? I feel like people who do this abortion without a reasonable reason, a very reasonable reason, is selfish. They are selfish because they are concerned about just themselves. They are not just stripping the society of a potential person that could literally do something very good. Imagine okay, imagine someone, the person that was supposed to give birth to Einstein aborted him, right?
Destiny
We
child.
might still have we might still have great things now. We might still have those things he invented now, but it will take time for someone else to emerge and do that, right? So I feel like when people do this thing without strong reason, like good reason, and there are not people put in place to check their reasons, if it's good enough, they would keep on doing things like this, and it would literally affect the society. Honestly, it would
Yeah.
affect the society, affect the person, and
So
it's
you're
very
not
selfish.
so you're not pro life, you're pro context. And Victor is pro
I'm
life, like pro
exactly.
life
I'm
with
pro
he
content.
stands pro life with
Exactly.
everything. He stands pro life with everything he holds there.
Victor,
I'm
Victor
sorry.
on is don't kill any child.
Okay. It's like that question that but in the event of say that thing they said would you save the mother or the child? What would you guys do?
I'll save the mother.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that they would save the mother. I'm still on the fence on that. If I had a child, I had to choose between me or my child. I probably would want to save my child, but like I'm still on the fence on that.
And you will die and
Because like
leave
I'm
the
still on the
child
fence.
to be trained by another woman.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
that
thing. Like that's the reason why I'm on the fence. Because like I'm not dying to leave my child for who, but at the same time, I don't think I'd be able to
Love,
forgive myself if I lost my child. I probably like spiral into like serious
I guess that's why
depression
it's
for
the
a
man
while.
that
I
is
will get
usually the
better,
one to make that
obviously.
that's
decision.
I'll get better, obviously, but I'm going to like go through a whole lot before then. So I think I'm still on the fence on that. I really don't have like a
so this reason
I
so
stand here.
so this reason now is why they always ask the father, not the mother.
I just knew you would
And
say
how is
that.
it the father's body? Is it the father that's
I
carrying
just
the
knew you
child?
would say that.
It's not my body.
Because of objectivity. Because
Is
of
it the father? Is it
objectivity.
the father that's carrying the child or the mother?
I'm telling
If
you.
I
I'm
say I
telling
want to
you,
remove it,
I'm literally telling you why. I'm just telling you why. I'm
okay,
not saying
okay.
Because of
So
what?
in a
You said
situation
Wait,
because
I
where
of
the
think
what?
Evelyn
husband
wants to
now
say
says,
something. Evelyn wanted to say
So no,
something.
I was saying, Victor, you said it's because of what? You said it's
objectivity.
okay. I thought you said because of responsibility.
okay,
Okay.
because like
Objectivity. I mean,
I have this notion.
what?
If the father says,
Always.
"Baby,"
Every time. we would always, it is the logical thing to save the factory over the product. The factory can always
Okay.
produce another product.
Okay, but
Wow.
if I now want the
Wow.
product to be
We're
saved
back.
in so it's my body now.
Ah,
We're
It's
back
my
to
body, my
now.
Victor, I
choice.
love you.
If I want the
Ladies and
product to be
Patrick now.
saved, if I want the product to be saved, it's my body, my choice. So the doctor will not override my own decision as far as my own body.
Do you know that?
That's why
If it's your body, then who's going to take care of the child? You want to leave the child to the doctor?
No,
As
that's
you are
that's
saying it's your
no.
body,
Calm
will you
down,
leave
calm
the
down.
child?
He said we asked the
exactly,
father.
Yeah, I don't
Not
kill
the
me,
father that
God.
made the decision.
Uh,
He said we asked the father to make the decisions. No, I think both people in the marriage should make the decision.
But
It's
when you
not
are
the father's
on
no,
the
choice.
bed and you
no,
are
No,
dying,
no.
no, it is not
can
the
you make any
father's
If it
choice.
gets
decision?
to that, if it gets to
They
that
both
critical
make
point in the
they both
hospital,
make that child. They
and the
both make
woman is
that child.
unconscious, and the woman is
In that
unconscious, oh
situation,
my
you are in no
goodness.
position to make any decision because you are probably losing blood and you are dying. You will not even be thinking
The man and
Exactly.
straight.
child should die together. The man should stay at this point.
But you know,
Like
it's the
let's
man's
let's
child
Exactly.
also. So
and be together.
honestly, this is very, very subjective to people's different
Yeah, like
opinions.
it's personal.
It's
Like
not.
It's a
It's not.
personal
It's not
thing.
subjective. It's not subjective. That's also the reason why they don't allow surgeons to operate on their relatives, whether it be their mother, their father, or their siblings, because of they tend to lose. They tend to become emotional. If there is issue now, those you say start fidgeting, and you can't afford to fidget.
But
So
No,
Victor,
when it comes to
you're
can
not
we
objectivity,
missing the
agree
point
that
of what we're saying.
it's
can
not.
we
I'm
agree
not getting
that
the point.
yeah, Victor, can we
But
agree that whenever it gets to this situation, like before you get to that operating table where you're probably losing blood and almost dying, there is a you have been told, like before you get into that, while you are still conscious and in sound state of mind, you have already been told there's a very high probability or there's a probability that something like this is going to happen. And then they ask you there and then, what do you want us to do in that case? Not to be like you're not dying, you're like you're fully sane. Like there's a sit because like when you're about to have kids and all that, there's a sit down with your doctor or there's like a process you've been going through. So like there's a sit down, there's a with how
but
we check. Because like
complications
before you give
happen
birth,
now.
they check the baby.
Everything could
It
be
doesn't
going
just happen
well,
like
and then at the almost at the end point, a complication comes up, and then you have to make a decision at that point there.
okay, if that's the situation, sure, there's a very high probability that you're going to save the mother. But like in a situation
not.
whereby you and your wife have been told that okay, there's a like a 30%, 3% chance that the there are going to be complications and if you still try to have this baby, who would you want us to save
All
when
right,
both the man and the woman
let's switch
are
to something. I think we
safe?
don't have so much time again. I don't even know if we still have
Okay.
time. I wanted us to speak on. There was a question I wanted to ask you guys, especially the ladies that we have here, because I've been in my mind and I've been thinking if there is a link between the low and poor sex education that we have as children, and I don't know and how it links to girls going into the whole hookup culture and all of that. Let me just ask you, why do you people
I,
do hookup?
why do people do hookup? Sure.
Why do you people?
Why do people do hookup? Yeah, I think it's basically because of the pressure and situation you find yourself in. I think it's basically because of pressure and situation you find yourself in. Sex education, there are people who are doing hookup that have proper up-to-date sex education.
They're
That's why you see
experts.
people who sleep with multiple people. They would never sleep with anybody without a condom. They have people, they take shots, they have a lot of things in place to make sure that they don't get STIs, they don't get pregnant. Those are people with proper sex education, but they are still into the profession of hookup. So I think it's pressure for some people, and for some people, it's just the situation they find themselves in.
Makes
I'm not going
sense.
to judge anybody for their line of work. All hustle is hustle.
Ah,
That's what
Pressure is
Okay.
still the
Okay.
conversation for another
I
time.
have
All
I have
hustle is
another
hustle.
perspective.
Hmm.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like it still boils down to this nature and nurture, right? Because there's always another way out, right? I believe that lack of proper sex education is not justifiable reason to go into hookup. It's not justifiable reason at all. But I'll also blame the society we live in because in this time and age, hookup is starting to get normalized. We see it in movies. We see girls having multiple partners and deem it as cool. We see people talking about it online, and people are hating them in the comment section, telling them, "Go girl, you're doing good for yourself," and things like that.
All hustle is
So
hustle.
exactly. Okay,
That's the only
I'm
thing
not
I'm
trying
taking
to
out from
attack.
here. All
I'm
hustle is
not trying
hustle.
to. I'm not trying to attack anybody, but I'm just saying that at the end of the day, nature and nurture comes into play, because you might be in a situation whereby it seems like this is the truth is that hookup is never the only option. There's always a legit way out. There's always another way out. I believe that it's not justifiable, right?
I'm happy
But I
these things
feel
are
like,
coming from the ladies. I'm happy it's the ladies that are saying these things.
yeah, I feel like it's not justifiable, right? Because there's there's always a way out. There's really always a way out. But I also feel like the society is now normalizing this hookup thing. They're making it seem like it's not a big deal. And ladies are constantly coming online and oppressing. There's this particular lady, not ladies, I saw on Instagram. She was talking about how she's a bop, and
How she's a
she
what?
has literally bop.
What the hell is that?
B-O. I asked someone about it because I was trying to check online, and I couldn't. And what I got was that this person is literally someone that shows explicit content to probably a certain kind of people, or uses exploits the fact that they're beautiful or they have nice features. They can get like an OnlyFans and show exactly things like that. So she was literally bragging that she has built houses, she has gotten cars from the people that, because of her full-time job as a bob girl and what she does and things like that. And people in the comment section that are people that are viewing that don't really have so much of a good or strong nurture or personality, would feel like their hard work is not doing anything, that this is the way forward. Things like that. I feel like, personally, this is my viewpoint. I feel like it is very, very, it's not justifiable under any circumstance to turn to hooking up and giving yourself for money, and you want to blame that on sex, on not being properly educated about sex. No, that is, we're in a world where even if a person is not actively educated by their parents about sex, they have the internet. Literally, 95% of the world's population has access to internet at this point. Even if you don't have a cell phone, you can always even ask somebody for yourself. If you want to be educated about something, if you truly have a curious mind, which is natural in every human being, curiosity is, you can always make research about this thing, get to know about these things, get to know about the issues that comes with these things and things like that. So I feel like hookup is not justified. Lack of sex education is not justifiable for a person or a lady to get into, hooking up as a source of income or something they do. That's my personal. That's
why I said that pressure also plays like an important part. It's not. I don't think it's sex education.
Thank
It's
you so
either
much.
pressure or condition. But the reason why I don't necessarily agree with everything Evelyn said is because of the fact that I've grown to
I
learn.
think we don't have time.
We
don't have time.
People.
Let's just
Sorry, I'm going to wrap it up here. I've grown to learn to not judge people because I'm not walking in their shoes.
Yes, I agree with that.
So unless I've walked in your shoes,
I don't have the
can't judge
moral
what you have
ground to
done.
judge you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm judging anybody, but I'm saying it's not justifiable. I'm not saying I don't judge people.
Until you suffer
don't
what
see-
they've suffered, I think that's the only
Exactly.
you
I
suffer-
don't judge
that you
anybody,
can
but
say
I'm
whether
saying
it's
it's not.
justifiable
but
or
you
not.
say it's not justifiable, but because we don't have much time, we're not going to drag out.
No problem. See, we'll definitely have a part
Sex
two.
education attributes to lack of sex education.
More.
Does it correlate? I'm saying it's
No. I don't think it attributes. No, okay. Yeah, it's not a justifiable
Yeah, that was the
reason for
question.
that.
It's not a justifiable reason.
It's not a justifiable reason for that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But we don't judge people, and I still stand by what I said. All hustle now hustle. The only reason why it's still going is because they have a client.
I agree with you. I agree.
If they do not have a client base, if they do not have a client base, they will not continue. There's nobody that starts a business and they don't have a client base that will continue that business. So if you don't have a client base, you stop. All hustle now hustle.
I do agree, Kay.
I agree with you, honestly. All now.
God bless Nigeria. God bless everybody.
The latest, what you guys have said is I agree with what you people have said totally. Like peer pressure, there's nothing really as a prostitution has no relationship with lack of serious education. I don't think it has much to. So um, peer pressure, the economy, there's some people are even going into it because they are hard. You understand? So um, I totally agree with you. Many
Yeah.
people are doing it just because of the money that the easy money that comes with it,
Yeah.
and the society is encouraging it so well that okay, look at most times men criticize it, but men are the one even patronizing them. So I just feel like
Exactly. But
Victor,
this is
Victor, do you want to say something under 1 minute on this question before we just wrap it up? We definitely have to have another session
No,
because we did not even scratch the surface
no.
of what we wanted to speak on.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a correlation between the two. But however, a unique thing is this girl Abaka mentioned OnlyFans. Now it will interest you guys to know OnlyFans was created not for OnlyFans purpose. It was women that turned that into it.
yeah, obviously, yeah, we know that. I believe we all know that. People have perverted that. If I have
People don't
It
know
was
that. No,
It
people
was
don't know that.
people.
it was let's not
People
just say
don't
You
know
say
women.
people don't know that.
Society is something else.
Like,
Now if you have
Victor say people don't know that.
is something entirely
oh
different.
my God.
I know they allow Victor lad.
Women, can we
yeah, I
say
don't even know.
people?
Honestly, I don't know that too. Honestly,
Honestly, me
Can
Can
self,
we
I
say
don't know.
people are
that.
not women? Can we say people are not women, please? Can we
But men don't have
using
OnlyFans now.
one gender to describe something?
Men
Like
don't
just
have
say people.
OnlyFans now,
Thank you
so
very much,
it's
guys.
women now.
I'm just, and it's interesting because when that owner died, when that owner died, there were a lot of what do you call it? There are a lot of different opinions of how this guy has the person that put out immorality into the world is dead, good, and this and that. But interestingly, like I said, it was not. It was just. It's like think of it as an Instagram for subscription. You subscribe to see the person's content, but then women sodomized it, just brought in whoredom.
No, it's
And
not
then
just women. It is really
How
not
they
just
sodomize it?
how many
There are
how
male
many
gigolos
No,
out
I'm
there.
trying to
There are
beg.
gigolos
I
out
beg
how
there
many
too.
Nah, which one be
how many
Mr.
gigolo
Victor, I
now?
begged you to say people. Mr. Victor, I begged you to say people, please. Can we stop the women and the men? Can we just say people, individuals? Can we just do that? Or like,
but Victor is entitled to his
top
opinion.
earners and OnlyFans are women.
I make it a pour fire to
the
the.
fact that you say women are emotional beings, it's hurting my heart. It's hurting my chest. Please, women are emotional. Please, pity me. Please just
You're getting emotional. I'm being logical
Yes,
here.
sure. I get. So please pity me if I'm getting emotional. I'm very
Please,
emotional at this point, close to the point of
please.
tears. Please, just people, thank you, because there are also men that are doing this thing.
Wait,
Exactly.
wait.
There are male
There are
gigolos
gigolos
out there.
say people.
Hey
There
God.
are gigolos out there that actually do OnlyFans too. It's not just women. You guys
And
have
the funny thing,
of them.
their own. It has like a very sweet name. They call them escorts. They call them gigolo. Like, you don't call it.
Nah,
You don't call it prostitution. It doesn't sound right.
Wetin be
You just say,
gigolo?
oh, she has an escort.
Gigolo is literally a male prostitute.
Cute. Like they just give people
Now,
sweet
wow.
names, and then we say women, this women, this women, that.
So
They are people. So
there
those women
There's
are women
nothing
are doing their
there's
shower
nothing
work
sweet
outside.
about that name.
Nah, wetin be
There's
Those
gigolo?
women and men are doing their shower work outside. So it's people, please, people. OnlyFans is not just for women showing. There are men that also do these things. So please,
See, okay, look,
How many? Can you mention?
Please, we don't have time. Please.
I don't use OnlyFans. I don't know anybody on OnlyFans. The only thing
How
I
do you
use
know there are men? How do you know there are men doing it?
Victor, please.
because I know for it. I listen to people discuss because I'm not interested in the app or whatever they are
okay,
doing.
Victor,
Is that your moderator?
Please, please, please.
Victor,
Yes,
can you
of
find
course.
yes,
The highest
Victor,
honor.
why
The
do you know
highest
women
Yeah,
that have
time.
OnlyFans
Please,
accounts?
please.
How do you know people that? Why do you know?
Sorry, we don't have time.
People that
Yeah.
do what
Eh?
OnlyFans?
This is exactly a red herring. You are deviating from the subject.
Okay,
Victor,
wait.
The
hello,
top
Victor.
earner of
Wait.
OnlyFans,
We just
they
have
don't know
we just have
Let's bring this
Victor.
to
We'll probably have a part two because we did not even discuss majority of the things that I wanted us to discuss on. But regardless, this was an exciting and very insightful episode. Thank you so much, Amaka. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you so much, Victor. Like I really, really enjoyed this episode. Like this would probably go down in history as one of my most favorite episodes. Thank you so much to you guys for making out time to be here with us. I'm looking forward to having another session with you guys if you guys are open to it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.